for you. We're gonna make some home folks too. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Peace in 420. How's everybody doing out there today? I hope you're doing great. It is time for a Kdwg News Monitor Flash. We are going to do this, and you guys are going to love the news because it ain't nothing but something good, okay? This is all the good stories here, okay? So, kids, the world of cannabis news moves pretty darn quick. With so many states and other countries leaning towards legislation, I want to help you keep up with the latest news. So here are the top cannabis stories of the last week, okay? Now, one of the groups formed to fight the legalization of cannabis for recreational use has now decided it's for the measure. But only if the Michigan legislature takes it up and amends the proposal. You're going to love this name, folks. The Committee to Keep Pot Out of Neighborhoods and Schools, a political action committee formed to help fight a ballot proposal to legalize cannabis, is now urging the legislature to take up the initiative, amend it, and pass a full legislation of pot for adult recreational use. The committee hopes that if the legislature acts, recreational use will be regulated as stringently as the medical marijuana industry. But if the legislature declines to take it up and the measure goes on the November 6th statewide ballot, the group will revert to opposing the legalization of cannabis again. This committee was initially formed to defeat the recreational ballot proposal, but now we believe that the legislature should amend and adopt the initiative before it's too late, said Mark Fisk, a spokesman for the committee. Cannabis legalization will be a reality in Michigan. Initiatives have been approved in 29 states and polling has been very strong. Regardless of our feelings on the issue, the question now is how to regulate and control recreational marijuana. Republicans in the state Senate are trying to figure out a way to take up the cannabis legalization, in part to keep it off the November ballot because it's expected to drive more voters to the polls. Higher turnout traditionally has helped Democrats, which could fuel a blue wave that could jeopardize the GOP's majority in the state House, Senate, governor's office, and in Congress. The committee's only source of funds has come from the Michigan Responsibility Council, a now defunct group that represented business interests that wanted to get involved in the medical marijuana industry. Republican political consultant Steve Linder, who has been a fundraiser for the Senate Republican caucus, acted as a spokesman for the Responsibility Council last year. They are now a defunct group. Now, here's a story that's very near and dear to me, okay? All right, I'm going to be honest. I live in Florida. It's a red state, okay? We have medical marijuana, but it's trimmed down so much, the law. So here's my story on this, okay? And you guys think about this. Florida patients fight for the right to spark up. On Wednesday, Florida medical marijuana patients argued for the right to smoke marijuana during a court case in Tallahassee. The plaintiffs argued that they had already had the right to smoke cannabis because, in the 2016 ballot measure that Florida voters approved, the medical use of cannabis was clearly defined and included the right to smoke. This means the state house passed legislation forbidding smoking cannabis when the right to do so was already set in stone. Okay? Now, John Morgan, the Orlando attorney who backed Florida's medical marijuana effort financially, is leading the charge to get the smoking ban tossed out. The day he first filed the case last July, he pointed to Section C6 of Florida's medical marijuana law, which was voted on 2 years ago. That section made it clear the amendment does not require the smoking of marijuana be allowed in public, unlike the proper use of medical marijuana in a private place, which is not illegal. By redefining the constitutionally defined term medical use to exclude smoking, the legislature substitutes its medical judgment for that of a licensed Florida physician and is in direct conflict with a specifically articulated constitutional process, the lawsuit stated, as noted by the Tampa Bay Times. However, the bill that was signed into law by Florida Governor Rick Scott to implement the vote allows for oils, sprays, tinctures, vaping, and edibles as a delivery option to patients authorized to use medical marijuana. The attorney for the state, Rachel Nordby, argued lawmakers were completely within their rights when drafting the implementation bill to make such a change. The legislature here has enacted a law that embodies reasonable safety concerns of medical use, she argued, according to the Miami Herald. The legislature contemplated that it was making the flower form available through vaping. This case is not about what is and what is not marijuana, she said. What this case is about is the permissible plain uses of marijuana. The lawsuit is a collaborative effort between two medical marijuana organizations in Florida, People United for Medical Marijuana and Floridians for Care. We'll see what the judge ultimately decides, but the case for patients' constitutional rights to consume their medicine however they and their doctors see fit is extremely straightforward. Floridians for Care spokesperson Ben Pilara said. And the case to prohibit smoking, as the law currently does, is in direct conflict with the amendment that 71% of Floridians approved in 2016. Florida activists like Pilara have had a tough time with the Scott administration. Despite having never vetoed any cannabis legislation, Scott scored a D+ from the folks at NORML in their recent gubernatorial report cards. This is a result of Scott's trend of over-legislating the will of the voters and making statements that suggest expanding access to medical marijuana could send patients down a path similar to alcoholism. Hello, 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 Governor Scott. This is your 9 o'clock wake-up call. Difference, big difference. Scott, however, is term limited and out of office this year, and it's tough to imagine his replacement will oppose a policy passed by 71% of voters, which is simply a massive majority by Democratic election standards. Kate Bell, A legislative council at the Washington, D.C. based Marijuana Policy Project has tracked cannabis reform in the Sunshine State in recent years. While Marijuana Policy Project is not involved in the lawsuit, we did support the United for Care campaign, and I support taking whatever measures are necessary to ensure that patients are protected as Florida voters intended, Bell said. When the initiative passed, the medical use of marijuana was understood to include what is by far the most common means of ingestion, which is smoking. Patients for whom smoking works best should have that option, especially given how safe cannabis is compared to many of the alternatives, like prescription opioids, which cause thousands of deaths in Florida each year. The Sun-Sentinel reported last fall that over 50,000 people have already registered for Florida's medical marijuana program. According to the Florida Department of Health's website, those patients now have access to 34 dispensaries dotted across the state. Those dispensaries are all operated by 13 permit holders. Now, the current list of qualifying conditions for medical marijuana in Florida includes cancer, epilepsy, glaucoma, HIV, AIDS, PTSD, ALS, Crohn's disease, Parkinson's disease, and multiple sclerosis, with room left for similar conditions and terminal patients to get access as needed. Tell me, kids, do you think smoking should be allowed as a medical treatment in the state of Florida or all over the world? Hello, hello, hello. Now, on to another story. The Pennsylvania Department of Health approved two major changes to the state's medical marijuana program on Monday. First, the health department added opioid addiction to the list of conditions eligible for treatment with medical cannabis. With that decision, Pennsylvania joins New Jersey as the only two states that have done so. Pennsylvania Secretary of Health Dr. Rachel Levine told local media that cannabis won't be the first treatment for addiction to opioids. Instead, doctors will try more traditional therapies first. It's important to note that medical marijuana is not a substitute for proven treatments for opioid use disorder, Dr. Levine said. In Pennsylvania, medical marijuana will be available to patients if all other treatment fails, or if a physician recommends it, and that it be used in conjunction with traditional therapies. Opioid addiction has extracted a grim toll in Pennsylvania, particularly in the state's largest city, Philadelphia. Officials attribute about 1,200 deaths in the city in 2017 to drug overdoses. Pennsylvania's health department also approved several other changes to the MMJ program on Monday. In a boon for patient choice, regulators have approved cannabis flower for sale at dispensaries. Since the program began earlier this year, only more expensive cannabis oils have been available. The law does not allow the smoking of marijuana, but patients will be able to vaporize cannabis flower. Chris Visco owns Pennsylvania dispensary chain Terra Vita Holistic Centers. When adding flower was first proposed, he said that the change would make patients' medical costs less expensive. For some patients, the cost of their medical marijuana could drop by 50% with the addition of flower, said Visco. It offers the lowest price per milligram of THC, the active ingredient. The health department also revised the program's definition of chronic pain. Now patients will not have to treat the condition with opioids before receiving a recommendation for medical marijuana. These new regulations for Pennsylvania's medical marijuana program started May 17th. And now, first I take a sip, because my mouth is dry, kids. And now for the fluff story, the lighter side, okay? Okay. I'm going to talk to you about 5 herbal blends to pair with cannabis. What? Yes, you take these herbs, you mix them with your ganja. And amazing things can happen. Let me tell you this story, though, kids, okay? People have been using plants and herbs casually and medicinally since the beginning of time to improve the quality of their lives. Just like cannabis, different herbs each have their own unique flavor profiles, distinct fragrances, and healing properties that can boost your mood, give you some energy, help you focus, ease pain, or reduce stress. Combining herbs with cannabis to create a customized herbal blend gives you an opportunity to introduce additional healing compounds into your sessions without missing out on the high. There's no right or wrong way to create and enjoy an herbal blend. They can be smoked in whatever way you prefer, whether it's rolled up in a bowl, in a bong, or in a vape. You can choose any herb you want and pair it with whatever strain you want, but it's cool to try to pair strains and herbs based on terps or terpenes, flavors, or effects. You just have to make sure that whatever herb you're using is safe to be inhaled and that you make it a priority to get the highest quality, preferably organic option that's available. Each herb can be used in any ratio you desire, heavy on the cannabis or heavy on the herbs, but it's best to put all of it into a grinder to evenly mix everything together before smoking for the best flavor and so that it burns well. You should try starting out with some of these herbal blends and then branch out and make your own after you get the hang of it. Now, the first one is lavender and chamomile. If you're feeling too overwhelmed to get to sleep, both of these herbs can help soothe the nervous system and encourage your body to rest. Lavender has a terpene called linalool in it that is known for its sedative properties that can reduce stress, anxiety, and feelings of depression. Try pairing this blend with an indica to complement the flavors of the herbs and help ease you into deeper relaxation. Now, here's one you might not have thought of, but I think it sounds like it would be pretty tasty, man. Peppermint and white sage. Put peppermint and white sage in your herb at Christmas time and fa la 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 la. You got the stuffed turkey, you got the goose, you got the damn candy, the whole 9 yards. This refreshing blend would work well with an energizing sativa to enhance the mood-boosting effects of peppermint and sage, as both herbs can help improve digestive problems like a stomach ache or gas, as well as respiratory issues like congestion. Sage is also known to improve memory function, so it may be able to help keep you focused during a day. Yeah, okay, and try to speak, okay, Kdwg? Try to, sometimes my tongue and my teeth do not properly dance together, okay? Okay. Here it is. All right. Now, for the third one, this one's going to be good for you, I think you ladies anyway. Rose and jasmine blossom. Fans of strains that smell and taste floral will find these two flowers make a good match with their strain of choice. Jasmine has a light, pleasant essence that complements the roses that have okay, you spell it, Geraniol, geraniol in them, which is known to be a natural antioxidant that has anti-cancer and anti-tumor properties. Find a fruity or berry strain that will fit well with the sweet flavor profile. All right, kids, try this one sometime. I don't know. I'm scared of this one. This might be a couples only thing, and I'm just a lonely guy, so I can't do this by myself. Where is the next future Miss X dog? No, I'm kidding. I will never get married again. But if she's out there just wanting to meet me. Anyway, Blue Lotus and Damiana. Damiana is considered a natural aphrodisiac that helps increase arousal, while blue lotus is often attributed to pleasant dreaminess that makes you feel deeply relaxed. Both of these herbs are known to have calming, sedative properties that produce a very mild euphoria and would work well with the hybrid strain that offers a balanced buzz. Some people report having vivid dreams after smoking blue lotus. Ooh, vivid dreams. Okay. All right, now, you write this one down. I'm waiting. Okay, write this one down, kids, because when it's snotty, cold, and flu, and just, oh, my achy head, and my tired feet, and my neck, and my dog, and I can't get out of the house, eucalyptus and mullein. Sometimes smoking is the last thing you feel like doing when you're congested and not feeling well. And this combo can help with breathing issues and encourage what's referred to as effective coughing as an expectorant. Eucalyptus has a terpene called eucalyptol. Thank you for making that easy to say, God. Eucalyptol, 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 eucalyptol in it, which has anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, and antifungal properties, as well as myrcene, which is antibiotic, antimutagenic, and effective muscle relaxant. Use this blend when you need a powerful lung cleanser. Kids, I got to tell you, that was the week in cannabis news. Yeah. That was the week in cannabis news. I love y'all, and I want all of y'all to come back and see me when I do my show. Because I'm going to do a show. I always do a show. Oh, no. That's not the one I pushed. That's the one I pushed. We don't want to do that. That almost fucked the whole thing up, didn't it? Rectum hell, it almost killed him. Jesus Christmas, golly, boy, you got loud as hell, dog. You're loud as hell. Stay away from those aniola. What? I don't know, man. It also increased fertility. Ooh, increased fertility. Did I get loud? I better adjust my mic. I switched screens. I'm sorry. There we go. Is that better? I love each and every last one of y'all. How do you like my glasses? How we doing here now? Who's the gorilla? Who's the gorilla fluff? Yeah, that's some nasty sounding stuff. Okay, there we go. All right. I love each and every last one of you as though we were related. And, you know, I wouldn't do this on the news, but and we out this bitch. I love y'all. And let's see. We're going to put that there. And we're going to do this. And I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, I love y'all. Peace, and I'll see you later.